Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork, and I've been doing some work on my new Traxxas slash 4x4 Platinum Edition. This is the 2012 LCG version of that Platinum, and I've been basically kind of tearing the thing down to get it ready to become what I'm going to start calling my Project Sleeper. This is going to be a short course truck that I plan to run on an indoor clay track and see if I can't turn some heads with this thing without people knowing what it actually is. So I've been kind of been doing some of my research. I haven't had a slash 4x4 in a very long time, almost 4 years now, and I'm really, I guess, impressed with it so far, with some of the upgrades and whatnot that have come on this truck. And then I've been very freshly reminded of some of the shortcomings of the truck, and I'll show you guys here in just a few minutes just the small things that I've noticed, right out of the gate, starting to tear down. But I'm also going to cover some of the positives on it as well, because all in all, this truck is definitely, like I said in the previous video, it's kind of paved the way for a lot of the short course trucks out there. It was, I believe, the first one out on the market, and I think it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and show you some of the plans. This is going to be kind of a planning kind of video of what I'm going to be doing with it so far. Everything that you see removed from the vehicle will probably not appear back on it again. So wheels and tires in the background, the center drive shaft, all the electronics are going to be removed. And I'm not going to just throw it in the garbage. It will be going on different vehicles, hopefully in the future here at the RCNetwork. But for this particular truck, I am going to put some pretty decent stuff in it. So let's take a look at a couple of those items so far, and we'll kind of go from there. So the one thing that is not installed on the truck was that center diff. This will be going on there. However, there's going to be some other parts that are going to be surrounding it that I haven't quite got in yet. Those should be arriving today, actually. So you'll be seeing update videos on this particular vehicle quite regularly, so stay tuned. That was stay tubed, not stay tuned. Kind of ironic. Anyways, of course, my go-to servo is the 1258 TG from Savox. I mean, I'm running this thing in my Techno. I ran it in the SCTE, the Next 10. I ran it in the EXO. I mean, this servo is just bomb-proof when it comes to short course trucks or short course style vehicles, as far as the weight, the quickness, and also how much torque it has for such a quick servo. 0.08, and I think it was like 167 is the spec for the torque. Let's double check that. 166.6. There you go. Anyway, so that is going to be going on there. Can't wait to see how that looks inside of that Traxxas 4x4. So next motor option is going to be a Pro 4 4600 from Decals. This is definitely a tried and proved motor. 4-pole. I mean, it's just going to have tons of torque and get me some pretty good speed down those straightaways on that indoor clay track. So that is it so far of what I have kind of ready to go on the vehicle, but I have lots and lots of parts coming in. I really can't wait to show you guys, but you're going to have to stay tuned to find out what those parts are. Now, if you plan to race this truck like I do, the suspension is second to none. That's what really matters, especially on an indoor clay track. So I am going to be giving these GTR shocks a run for their money. I don't plan to upgrade those yet. I want to see how well they can perform. Now, these are basically the top of the line from Traxxas right now. Of course, they have their Ultras. That's the kind of gray-bodied shock that you find on most of their stock slashes. You also have the big bores, which I believe actually came as a, not an add-on, but it was a part that came on their Ultimate back in the day, or maybe their Platinum. I kind of confuse the names. But their big bore was actually smaller than these. The GTR shocks now are even larger than those. Larger shock shaft, titanium nitride, I believe. Big bores also had that, but I'm going to hopefully give these a run for their money. Now, these shocks do come with a standard style spring, not the progressive ones that you find on the Ultras. So I'm definitely happy about that. As far as everything else here, so electronics are going away, wheels and tires going away, that center drive shaft's going away. I have some other parts that I'm pulling off of this truck. All of the drive shafts, front and rear, are coming off of it. Motor mounts coming off. Pretty much bumpers are coming off. Arms are coming off. So there's a long list of things that are going to be coming off of this thing. Shock towers are coming off. So pretty much we're going to have the bulkheads, the shocks, and maybe some of this blue stuff is going to be left on this vehicle once we're done. So definitely stay tuned. As far as some of the weaknesses that kind of reminded itself to me, the first thing was the flexibility of not only the chassis, but the actual shock towers. You can kind of see here this thing moving around and the shocks moving. That definitely can't be good for shock shafts and whatnot, especially when you're doing some jumps. So plan to upgrade those shock towers to, I'm trying to find some carbon fiber ones out, but I'm not seeing those. So it's probably going to be some aluminum ones. We'll kind of go from there. Other thing that I'm kind of looking for as well are the body mounts. These things are super flexible, which is good and bad. It's good for the longevity of your shell, but bad because they kind of distort over time, especially with any big hits on it. So I plan to upgrade those. We'll kind of see what goes from there. Bumpers definitely going to RPM. Kind of that's just a no-brainer right there. And I think that's it. Positives, working on this truck, pretty much you got 4 bolts, 2 top here, 2 bottom here, disconnect the steering linkage, and the whole front clip comes off. And that's just cool. I mean, whoever designed that at Traxxas, they kind of they had that thing nailed from the beginning. So I definitely like that portion of working on the truck. It's very simple to work on. We're back to metric hardware. Thank God we're finally away from some of the low-C standard hardware. So definitely welcome that back into the shop here. I have all my MIP drivers all revved up and ready to go. So that's it. So I'm going to be doing some work on this thing. If you have any opinions, if you have any comments, suggestions, I'm definitely looking for that. And keep in mind, this is not going to be a basher truck. This is going to be a race truck. So there's not going to be any roll cages. There's not going to be any high center of gravity items on this thing. We're going to keep everything low and performance. So keep that in mind, but definitely throw some comments on down there below the video that you're watching. And that's it. That's it for now, guys. Once again, comments, questions down below, thumbs up, and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.